This video is going to be on stimulating deal flow. What I mean by this is by going through some actions, taking 30 minutes out of your day or any sort of time block and going through some things that don't cost any money to do to get new clients. We're not spending any more money. We're not buying more leads. This is working with what you have right now to bring in more business. You should always focus first on activity, taking calls, making calls. That should be 75, 80% of your day should be either on the phone or waiting for a phone call or outbound dialing. That should be most of your day. That's where you make your money. But I'm saying carve out maybe 30 minutes out of your day to work on stimulating deal flow. And I'm going to go through 4 things today that you can do to stimulate deal flow, to bring in business that doesn't cost you any more money because you've already spent it on the leads or on the opportunities. There's a lot of opportunity out there that you can nurture to bring in business, and all that is ROI. You will become a more profitable agent by carving out 30 minutes in your day to do this. Number 1, send thoughtful messages to your follow-ups via text message. I'm not saying to send them, somebody says to follow up, obviously we want a one-call close. That's the objective, but if somebody wants a follow-up, and all of us have it, as you know, most don't pick up the phone again. Try a few times, but if you don't get a hold of them, send a thoughtful message. Don't send something generic, like, hey, having trouble getting a hold of you. When's a good time to chat? Or, hey, are you still interested? Don't send any of that stuff. Send something thoughtful. Hey, I was thinking about you. And then reference something in the conversation that you connected on, or that you remember about them, or look at your CRM notes. And as a side note here, when somebody shares something with you, even if it has nothing to do with the conversation, a hobby or a family member they care about or that they mention, write that stuff down. If it's somebody's name, if they mention their spouse's name, their kids' names, their grandkids' names, or how many they have, like anything like that, put that in your notes so you can reference it in the future. What I'm saying here is send a thoughtful message that recalls something that you talked about with them. They'll be more apt to reply back and talk to you because you care. You remembered something from the conversation. You're not just another salesperson selling them a life insurance policy, okay? Because the text has the tone of, hey, I'm thinking about you, or something along those lines, and then it touches on something that's personal to them. The emotion, like why they're buying the coverage. Maybe you can touch on something along those lines. Calling somebody out by their name, not the person you're getting a hold of, maybe the spouse, maybe they mention their name, or where they live, or anything like that. Touch on a current event even, like something that is not so generic, templated, or anything like that. It works. I've seen it work. And to take some time out of your day, I know we want to be as efficient as possible. We want to send those automated messages. Guys, automation is to get the cream to rise to the top. That's it. And then for you to make calls to the cream that rises to the top. Now, the cream here has already risen to the top. You've already talked to them. Don't send any automated messages to follow-ups. Send a thoughtful message during this stimulating deal flow session that you're doing, okay? That's number 1, thoughtful messages to your follow-ups. Number 2, call every client of yours on their birthday. Wish them a happy birthday. Simple, right? You're not going to do anything but wish them a happy birthday. Again, recall something from the conversation. If they mentioned a name, if they mentioned a hobby, or if they mentioned anything, recall that. Look at your CRM notes. Again, if you're not taking CRM notes and putting that information in their files, start doing it now because it will help you in situations like this. Wish them a happy birthday, and you're not going to ask for any business. You're not going to ask for any referrals. It's just a happy birthday message. It may take a minute, but oftentimes they'll remember you're the life insurance agent, and they may offer up some referrals, or they may want to add coverage, or hey, my grandson or my friend or something like that. Sometimes they'll bring it up, but that's not the point of this call. This call is to build more rapport so that they know in year 2, 3, 4, 5, they're getting that birthday call from you. Even if it goes to voicemail, they know they're getting that birthday call from you. You're going to be front of mind anytime somebody needs life insurance or anything along those lines. It goes a long way. Most likely it will go to voicemail and you leave a nice voicemail, but people remember that. And it doesn't take a lot of time to do. So if you need to, have your CRM display birthdays for the day, or export your client list and create a spreadsheet with date of birth, and then just file it and sort it, and you can have your birthdays every single day to see whose birthday it is that you need to make that quick phone call. It goes a long way. It seems super passive, like you're not going in for a close, you're not going in for a sale, but it goes a long way in working your book of business, okay? Birthday calls. Number 3, policy reviews. If you sold a policy last May and it's a year later, it's this May, you should call them back and do a policy review. See if it's still in force, of course, and then call them and see if anything has changed. What's happened in the last year? Maybe one of their friends or family members, something happened. Maybe they got cancer. Maybe it's time to talk about a cancer policy. Look at their age. Maybe they're turning 65 soon and they could be eligible for Medicare. Talk about any of the other products that you sell, maybe retirement or anything like that. Just bring up, hey, I also do these things on this call. And then obviously referrals as well. Let them know about your referral program and just remind them of that. So policy reviews go a long way because you're doing the service work, asking if they need to change beneficiaries, asking if there's any changes they want to make, if they want to add any coverage or anything like that. Simple policy review, that will bring you more business. I wish I could just do policy reviews every single day. That would be my ideal way of doing this business, is just working a book of business of people I've talked to, people I've presented to, because the easiest people to sell are the people who have purchased from you before. That would be my preference. Not taking TV calls or anything like that. It would be working my own book of business. If I had dozens of people to call every single day, that's to me, that's where you want to get as a life insurance agent, because then your book becomes way more valuable because you've built up the goodwill of wishing people happy birthday every year, of doing the policy reviews every year. They know you're a solid life insurance agent that's there for them, and they know what else you do. And the inbound calls, the inbound referrals, everything will just start coming into you because you're building this deal flow. You're building this up. You're stimulating this deal flow. That's what this is about. And then number 4, not interested leads. If you presented to somebody and they said they're not interested, do a quality assurance call. Call them a month, 2 months, 3 months later and say, hey, I spoke to you 3 months ago. You called in to request life insurance, or you filled out a form. We spoke and you didn't end up purchasing life insurance. Part of quality assurance here is I just want to make sure that you got all the information you needed. Was there a reason you didn't purchase? Because I can tell you that when people fill out a form and they say, and you have a full conversation, make a full presentation, and they don't buy from you, and they say they're not interested, that doesn't mean they're not interested, because they called you. They fill out a form. They have that conversation. They want the coverage. They're just not interested right now. So you have to keep getting in front of them. And quality assurance disarms people. Oh, it's a quality assurance call because they're doing something for you. You're not asking for money to come out of their pocket to sell them something, right? This is quality assurance. Okay, cool. You're not going to be sold anything. Say this will only take a couple minutes. You had requested information in the past and you ended up not purchasing a life insurance policy. Did you get a life insurance policy, or what was it that made it so you didn't want to protect your family, or something along those lines? That will go a long way. If you can do those 4 things, and I'm sure there's more. Any ideas you have, anything that you do, drop them in the comment section of this video. Let's hear from you. What else can you do to stimulate deal flow? But I can tell you, if you do this every day, every single day, carve out 30 minutes a day to stimulate deal flow. If you are sending thoughtful messages to your follow-ups, if you're wishing your clients a happy birthday, you're doing policy reviews, and you're calling your not interested leads, there's no way you're not going to be a more profitable life insurance agent by that 30-minute session of stimulating deal flow. I hope everybody implements this in their day. I want to say it doesn't need to be 30 minutes, okay? That's just an arbitrary number. It could be 10 minutes if you're newer. It could be 30 minutes. It could be an hour. It could be more than that if you have a massive book of business. And at that point, maybe it's worth having somebody else call as well on behalf of you. Look at this through the lens of bringing in more business and building profitability into your business. Carving out 30 minutes a day for this stimulating deal flow session will make you a more profitable agent. And please, in the comments, if you have any other ideas, please share, and let's all make some more money together.